Hello again, this is Dr. Keith with another quick wellness news nugget. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. Today our article is going to come from marcola.com. It is a lengthy article, so I definitely won't have time to go through the entire article, but I highly recommend that you take time to read it. If you're joining me, I am a naturopathic doctor, and what I do with the quick natural wellness news or quick wellness news nugget is I take an article that's come out during either today or sometime during the week, and I basically review it and give my commentary on it from the perspective of a natural practitioner. Now, this particular article, again, like I said, it's a very detailed, interesting article, and it is from marcola.com. It was published on yesterday, now September the 18th, and it's entitled "Artificially Sweetened Drinks Can Lead to an Early Grave." And just as a glance, I'll go over this area here because I won't have time to finish the entire article because this is a quick wellness news nugget. So I try to keep it between 6 minutes generally, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes I go a little over if I feel it's an important topic. But it basically, Dr. Marcola says here, in a recent study analyzing data from 451,743 people from 10 countries over the 20-year period, researchers found that those who drank artificially sweetened drinks suffered a higher all-cause mortality, specifically from circulatory disease, while those drinking sugar-sweetened drinks had a higher risk of death from digestive disease. So again, this is a pretty significant analyzation of data because they looked at 451,743 people. That's almost 500,000 people from over 10 different countries over the period of 20 years and from studying this data, they were able to come up with these numbers. The article goes on to say further, these associations remain constant even when researchers remove confounding factors such as higher body mass index, smoking, and other mortality risks. The article says further, one of the most commonly used artificial sweeteners is aspartame, which is associated with increased risk of obesity as it appears to encourage sugar cravings and does not activate the brain's reward pathway in the same way natural sweeteners do. Research also links aspartame with neurobehavior symptoms such as insomnia, depression, headaches, and even seizures. It also points out how alterations in gut bacteria by artificial sweeteners may contribute to weight gain and insulin resistance. The American Beverage Association is pushing back as the American Academy of Pediatrics and American Heart Association call for federal and state policy changes to protect children and adolescents from marketing targeted at them. He goes on to say in this article that according to the CDC, 6 in 10 U.S. adults now have chronic health conditions like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and stroke, while 4 in 10 have 2 or more of these diseases. Now that's pretty significant because 6 in 10, that's more than 50%. And then when you and it says that they have chronic health conditions like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and stroke, and 40% of every 10 people have 2 or more of these diseases. So typically, if you're stricken with, say, hypertension, some of the same mechanisms happen in the body, which will, as its basis, that will ultimately, unless you make lifestyle changes, cause you to also develop diabetes and usually also some type of cholesterol issues. Now, he goes on to say in his article further, the triggers for many of these conditions are lifestyle choices, including smoking and excessive alcohol use. And he says big soda companies intent on protecting their profits have been promoting the message that the obesity epidemic is being driven by lack of activity as opposed to indulging in sugar-based foods and beverages. However, there is overwhelming scientific evidence that you can't out-exercise your diet. And I totally agree with that. You can exercise all you want, but you also have to eat a healthy diet. The two go hand in hand. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. And so this is very good information. The 20-year study goes on to say diet drinks increase risk of an early death. The new study involved a population-based cohort of 521,330 people from 10 European countries. And he says here the researchers' objective was to analyze any association between sugar-sweetened and artificially sweetened drinks and mortality. They engaged participants from an ongoing study recruited between January 1992 and December 31st, 2000. The article says any participants who had cancer, stroke, or diabetes were excluded, as were those who did not include follow-up information. The number of participants was then reduced to the 451,000, which 71.1% were women. And as pointed out further, in the beginning, the results showed there was a higher all-cause mortality in those who drank 2 or more glasses each day of soft drinks, whether they were sugar sweetened or artificially sweetened. There was an association between artificially sweetened soft drinks and death from circulatory disease, as well as a link between sugar sweetened soft drinks and death from digestive diseases. Now, again, like I said, I won't have time to cover all of this very, very interesting article, but if you want to read it, you can read it at marcola.com. The article also quotes one of the researchers. It says Chief Researcher Neil Murphy from the World Health Organization, International Agency for Research on Cancer, said in an interview with the Washington Post, quote, in our study, high soft drink consumers had a higher body mass index and were also more likely to be current tobacco smokers. We made statistical adjustments in our analysis for BMI, which is body mass index, smoking habits, and other mortality risk factors, which may have biased our results, and the positive associations remain. So in other words, he says even when they took into consideration all of these other risk factors, the mortality and disease that were associated with these drinks, these sweetened drinks, stayed the same, even when they took into account those other risk factors. Here you see it under another heading, artificial sweetener tied to obesity. The artificial sweeteners create more health problems outside of these. Some of the other ones that are listed that we looked at early in the article. Gut bacteria altered by artificial sweeteners. And again, there's so much that occurs in your gut. Your gut has a lot to do with your health, significantly, a significant amount to do with your health. And so, again, this is Dr. Keith Henry. I would highly recommend that you go to marcola.com and read this article. It's entitled Artificially Sweetened Drinks Can Lead to an Early Grave. Thank you for joining me on this quick wellness news nugget. And remember, drink plenty of water. If you're going to drink juice, drink fresh juices as much as possible. Get a juicer and juice your juice as fresh as you can. Sometimes you may not be able to get it, so at least try and get some natural juice from maybe a health food store. But ideally, drink lots of water and drink juice that you yourself can juice, or buy some occasionally from a health food store if you can't get around to juicing and you really want some. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, take care.